Honorable Maria Serkedjieva, it's an honor to be able to interview you here in this forum. Welcome to the Institute for Cultural Diplomacy.
Thank you.
One of your areas of focus is international legal cooperation and harmonization of the Bulgarian legislation within the EU law. What are the crucial problems to be solved or the biggest gap between the two systems? How can you see like a possible bridge in between the two systems?
The two systems, you mean the Bulgarian national legislation and the European acquis? Yeah. Practically, there are not so-called two systems different like in the other member states, because in order to become a member of the European Union, Bulgarians should implement the European acquis into the national legislation. And the big problem was, and it is still, the implementation, because we created a new legislation in all fields of the legislative framework, and it is a big challenge to implement the legislation, to create the administrative capacity for implementation of the legislation, and to create the respective legal culture for implementation. And this is a long process. You can create and adopt and implement their different measures and methodologies, but for some years. But you cannot create the legal culture and the praxis for the implementation of the European acquis in 2 or 3 or 5 years. This is a long process, and I think that we are doing this with most efforts which can be put down, and also good for the time being, I can say.
Great. And how do you perceive Bulgaria's position has changed, if it has changed at all, in the international system since entering the EU, with special reference with the relationship to the other Eastern European countries that are still outside and not members of the European Union?
I would say that the position of Bulgaria didn't change towards the other countries, neighboring countries outside the European Union, didn't change after accession to the European Union. We were during the years very friendly towards our neighbors. For example, Bulgaria was the first state which recognized Bosnia and Herzegovina in 1992. We were not members of the European Union, but now, being members of the European Union, we are going through the same approach, making peace and friendly relationships and on the Balkans and with our neighbors.
Thank you. And on a more broad perspective, since you're an expert in legal rights, civil and legal rights, what steps do you think that the European Union should undertake in order to impose itself not only as a guarantor of the human rights within the Union, but also outside the Union?
Yes, it's a very good question, because this gives the necessity from a correlation between the European law within the European Union and the general international law concerning the human rights. And I'm speaking, or I was always, and I am speaking for the so-called exportation of the European human rights law and European praxis on the human rights law outside the European Union to the other world. I think that the efforts should be done in this direction.
Yeah. Thank you. And to conclude, as you are a lawyer and mediator, and as we are here at the Institute for Cultural Diplomacy, a forum of multicultural exchange, do you have any interesting experience that you might want to share with the role of culture and proper intercultural communication in solving disputes, legal disputes?
Yes, there are a lot of examples on the international public law and also in the international private law. I have the good opportunity for implementing the international or the international private and public law, because in my previous capacity as a deputy minister, I should apply the international public, but now I'm applying the international private law, and I have a lot of examples, but especially on the sphere of the family law. And once of them, I give only one example because it's somehow connected with Germany and with Bulgaria. It was an example from the family law, and it was about the child abduction, but it wasn't not child abduction because it was a Bulgarian woman who has two children in Germany with a German, and she went back to Bulgaria with the children for a holiday, but during the holiday she decided that she wanted to get a divorce, and she started the divorce procedure. But in the same time, the husband started in Germany a procedure for abduction, for child abduction, in the framework of this international convention about the child abduction. And because of the fact that within the European Union is a special ombudsman for implementation of this convention of child abduction, I made a declaration to stop the procedure and to go to mediation. So that was a successful implementation of the international private law, of the mediation, and at least also of the European possibilities for mediation through this mediator in the Parliament.
Thank you. I think you gave us a brief but very precise insight of how the legal European frameworks interact with the single national ones, and it was a pleasure interviewing you, and thanks for taking the time and speaking with us.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to talk to you.